Good day, everyone. We, the Group 4, are honored to present a report on Region 4A, also known as Calabarzon, one of the most important regions in the Philippines in terms of history, culture, and development.
Calabarzon is composed of 5 provinces, namely Batangas, Cavite, Laguna, Quezon, and Rizal, and one highly urbanized city with Calamba City as the regional center, known as the birthplace of Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. The region is home to over 16 million people, making it one of the most populous regions in the country, contributing significantly to the social, cultural, and economic life of Luzon. Geographically, Calabarzon is strategically located. It is bordered by Metro Manila to the north, Laguna de Bay to the west, Central Luzon to the northwest, the Philippine Sea and Bicol region to the east, Ragay Gulf, Sibuyan Sea, Tayabas Bay, Verde Island Passage, South China Sea, and Manila Bay. This location made it historically significant as a hub for trade, culture, and defense, linking the northern and southern parts of Luzon and providing access to important maritime routes. Historically, the region is unmatched in its contributions. It holds the Laguna copper plate inscription dated 900 AD, the oldest written record in the Philippines, showing that early Filipinos already had organized systems of law, governance, and trade. The Tagalog communities known as Taga-Ilog thrive along Laguna de Bay, developing advanced agriculture, river trade, and cultural traditions that form the foundation of Tagalog civilization. Even before Spanish colonization, Calabarzon was already politically and economically organized. Communities were governed under the barangay system, led by datus, who exercised authority over trade, justice, and warfare. The Spanish colonial period in 1565 to 1898. When Spain colonized the Philippines, Calabarzon became deeply affected by religious conversion and land redistribution. The Spanish introduced the hacienda system, which placed large agricultural lands under friars and elites. The region became politically active during the secularization movement, where Filipino priests demand equal rights within the church. The execution of Gomburza in 1872 intensified nationalist sentiments, especially in nearby areas. The Cavite Mutiny of 1872 further ignited anti-Spanish resistance. By the 1890s, revolutionary groups such as the Katipunan gained strong support in Calabarzon. The region became one of the most revolutionary centers against Spanish rule. Region 4A is also a birthplace of nationalism. Calabarzon is historically significant because it produced key figures of Philippine nationalism. Dr. Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines, was born in Laguna. His writings awakened Filipino consciousness and exposed Spanish abuses. Cavite became the center of the Philippine Revolution. In 1898, Philippine independence was declared under the leadership of Emilio Aguinaldo. This historic event marked the end of over 300 years of Spanish colonial rule. Because of these events, Calabarzon is considered the cradle of Filipino nationalism. The American period that started in 1898 to 1946. During the American period, Calabarzon experienced structural transformation. Public education was introduced, democratic institutions were established, and infrastructure such as roads and ports were developed. However, resistance did not immediately end. Filipino forces continued fighting during the Philippine-American War. Over time, the region adapted to American governance systems and modernization began shaping its economic direction. Japanese occupation during 1942 to 1945. During World War II, Calabarzon became strategically important due to its proximity to Manila. guerrilla groups operated in mountainous and rural areas, especially in Quezon and Rizal. The region suffered economic hardship, but resistance movements remained active. This period strengthened the region's identity as a site of resilience and patriotism. Post-war to present. After the World War II, Calabarzon transitioned from an agricultural and revolutionary region into an industrial powerhouse. Because of its location near Metro Manila, it became ideal for manufacturing zones and economic expansion. Industrial parks were established, especially in Laguna and Cavite. Today, Calabarzon is one of the top contributors to the Philippine GDP. It represents the transformation of the Filipino nation, from colonization to revolution to modernization.
Good day everyone, I am Precious Lara Lopez and today we will talk about the provinces and major cities including the famous places that make the region unique and worth visiting. I'll be talking about Cavite. Cavite is a Calabarzon province with great historical and natural attractions. Easily reachable from Metro Manila, talagang bida ang probinsyang ito for diverse travel experiences. We have famous places. First, Aguinaldo Shrine, the official site where Philippine independence was declared in 1898. Managed by the National Historical Commission, it displays original revolutionary artifacts and documents. Isang mahalagang lugar para maunawaan ang ating kasaysayan. Second, Tagaytay City, a premier highland spot known for cool weather and stunning views of Taal volcano and lake. It offers top local cuisine like bulalo, plus scenic viewpoints and facilities, perfect for leisure trips all year round. Third, Naik Beach, a tranquil coastal destination with calm waters and well-kept shores, ideal for family outings or quiet getaways. Hindi kailangang maglakbay ng malayo to enjoy and relaxing beach experiences. This is Laguna, a province in Calabarzon, located in the central part of Luzon. It surrounds Laguna de Bay, the largest lake in the Philippines. Laguna is known for its balance of natural attractions and economic development. If you are planning a trip to Laguna, these are the must visit spots you should not sleep on. Each one brings something unique to the table, no cap. First is Seven Lakes of San Pablo. Located in San Pablo City, these are not just regular lakes, they are interconnected volcanic crater lakes with major ones like Sampaloc, Bunot, Yambo, Pandin, Mohicap, Kalibato, and Palakpakin. The scenic views here are chef kiss, perfect for anyone who loves nature or just needs a chill escape from the city. Next, Pasanjan Falls. Literally one of the most iconic waterfalls in the Philippines. You can say you've been to Laguna without experiencing the thrilling boat ride through lush canyons to get to the falls. It's an adventure you won't forget. Next, Mount Makiling, a prominent volcanic mountain that's also protected area. It's home to super diverse flora and fauna. So if you are into hiking or just want to explore rich biodiversity, this is the spot for you. Batangas, a province in Calabarzon situated on the southern shores of Manila Bay and southwest of Manila. It covers around 3,119.75 square kilometers, making it the 44th largest province in the Philippines. Batangas is recognized for its coastal charm, historical significance, and growing economic landscape. These are the tourist spots. Taal Volcano. This one's located on an island inside Taal Lake. And guess what? It's actually one of the world's smallest active volcanoes. Sobrang iconic talaga. Perfect for those who love seeing amazing geological wonders and breathtaking views. Next, Anilao. If you are into diving or just love the sea, this place is the spot. It's famous for having rich marine biodiversity. You will get to vibrant coral reefs, cool underwater caves, and so many different kinds of marine life. Sulit na sulit talaga ang visit dito. Next, Kaliriga Church. Officially named the Transfiguration Chapel, it's such a serene and beautiful place. Nakaka-relax talaga kasi it's surrounded by lush gardens and rolling hills, great for quiet moments or even special occasions um like weddings. Rizal, a province in Calabarzon situated in the central section of Luzon. It shares borders with multiple areas including Bulacan, Quezon, Laguna de Bay, and the National Capital Region. Rizal is recognized for its growing population and strategic location, bridging urban and rural landscapes. These are the famous places. First, Mountain Daraitan. Hikers need to register at the local tourism office or accredited tour operators. Permits are required for entry. Proper hiking gear, sturdy shoes, water containers, sun protection is strongly recommended. Booking in advance is advised, especially on weekends and holidays, to manage visitor volume and ensure safety along trails. Second, Masungi Jail Reserve. All visits must be arranged through official guided tours only. Walk-ins are not allowed. These are strict rules to protect the ecosystem. No littering, no touching or climbing on rock formations. Enclosed toe shoes are mandatory. Tours having limited slots per day, so reserving weeks ahead is essential to secure a spot. Third, Hinulugang Taktak Falls. While swimming is prohibited due to the water pollution, visitors can still explore the areas and views the falls from designated viewing platforms. There are entrance fees for maintenance, and proper waste disposal is enforced. The site has rest areas and food stalls, but bringing reusable water bottles is encouraged to reduce plastic waste. Next, Quezon, a province in Calabarzon located in the southern part of Luzon. It is bordered by Aurora, Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Laguna, Batangas, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, and the Philippine Sea. Quezon is known for its large land area and significant population, with a rich mix of coastal and inland landscape. These are the famous places. Pahiyas Festival. Plan ahead for the May 15 celebration. Book transport and accommodation early. Wear comfortable clothes and close-toe shoes. Do not damage or take decorative items from houses. Second, Pasanjan Falls. Hire only accredited boatmen and guides. Life vests are mandatory. Avoid vault key items. Secure valuables. Pay entrance fees and do not litter. Borawan Island. Arrange trips through accredited operators. Pay entrance and environmental fees. Swim only in designated areas. Avoid touching marine life and take all trash with you. Primary language or dialect spoken in this region is Tagalog. It serves as the main mode of communication for locals and visitors alike. Common examples of Tagalog phrases include kamusta, which means how are you? Salamat for thank you. Maganda, translating to beautiful. And tara na, which says let's go. Tagalog is widely used across the area, making it easily to interact with communities and navigate daily activities. Next, Kapampangan is a local language from the Philippines, mostly spoken sa Central Luzon, like sa Pampanga, at meron din namang parts ng Tarlac, Bulacan, Bataan, at Nueva Ecija. Dahil sa mga migrants, nagkalat din ito sa ibang lugar. Some common words are mekeni, which means come here, manyaman for delicious, and mimingat that translate as take care. Next, Bicolano is a language na ginagamit sa Bicol region ng Pilipinas. Pero tulad ng nakasulat, sinasalita rin ito sa ilang bahagi ng Quezon. May mga kilalang salita dito tulad ng magayon na ibig sabihin ay beautiful. Iba naman ang dating ng salitang ito kasi connected din ito sa legend ng Mayon Volcano. Makanos ay nangangahulugang ugly at masiram ay delicious.
Hi everyone, I am Rose Estrada and my part is the traditional crafts and infrastructure of Calabarzon 4A.
These are the traditional crafts. Paete wood carving. Paete, a town in northeastern Laguna, along Laguna de Bay, it was named after the Tagalog word paet, or chisel, and declared the carving capital of the Philippines in 2005. Batikuling is the top choice materials of paete wood carving due to its durability, and also the other woods like nara and kamagong are also used. And they make religious items such as statues and crucifix are iconic. But craftspeople also make furniture, wooden shoes, or the bakya. Lumban hand embroidery. Lumban is known as the hand embroidery capital of the Philippines. A signature technique is calado, where fibers are removed and the remaining ones woven into open-work patterns. Their products are used on barong Tagalog, Filipiniana gowns, wedding attire, handkerchiefs, tablecloth, and accessories. Lilo footwear making. Lilo is renowned for traditional and contemporary footwear, particularly sustainable designs. The materials for Lilo uses natural fibers like abaca, raffia, and hemp, which are water-resistant and eco-friendly. Their products include sandals, slippers, and closed-toe shoes, with intricate designs such as embroidery or weaving. These are the infrastructures. Cavite-Laguna Expressway connects Cavite and Laguna, eases congestion on existing roads, and stimulates regional and economic activity. Laguna Lakeshore Road Network. builds a climate-resilient road along Laguna de Bay, improving accessibility while mitigating flood risks and supporting economic links between Metro Manila and Laguna. General Nakar Dingalan Road Bridges connects isolated communities in Quezon Province to essential services like markets and healthcare facilities.
Hello everyone, I am Samantha Gabriel Galvez and my part centers on Calabarzon's festivals, cultures, and traditions as well as their economic strengths and livelihood.
The Region 4A or the Calabarzon's culture is a vibrant blend of religious devotion, agriculture, thanksgiving, and rich history of craftsmanship. When it comes to their festivals, there are 5 examples here, which is Gigantes Festivals in Angono, Rizal. Gigantes Festivals features giant paper-mache puppets, some over 10 feet tall, paraded through the streets to celebrate San Clemente. Next is Sublian Festival in Batangas, a 2-week celebration in July centered on the Subli, a traditional ceremonial dance of the Batangueños performed in honor of the Holy Cross. Next is Pahias Festival. These are the example. It is celebrated in Lucban, Quezon. Next is Regatta Water Festivals in Cavite City. And lastly is the Anilag Festival in Laguna. So let's move on to their cultures and traditions. When it comes to their cultures and traditions, we can see here that they are famous for specific traditional crafts that have been passed down for generations, such as wood carving. They are even known as the wood carving capital of the Philippines. Another is belisong making, embroidery, their traditional dances, petroglyphs, and so on. Calabarzon are a mix of deep Catholic faith, or they have their own religious beliefs. They still practice pamanhikan, which is a form of formal courtship tradition where a man's family visits the woman's home to ask for her hand in marriage, still widely practiced with great formality. Alongside with Visita Iglesia. During Holy Week, they visit the historic colonial churches of Laguna and Rizal, many of which date back to the Spanish era. Heroic patriotism. Every June 12, residents of Cavite lead the national celebration of Philippine independence at the Aguinaldo Shrine, keeping the revolutionary spirit alive in local education and pride, and communal farming rituals. And dyan, these are practices are often tied to the specific landscapes of each province. Next is the economic strength or livelihood of this region. It is the country's leading industrial hub with numerous manufacturing and export processing zones, also known as Philippines' industrial powerhouse and the second largest contributor to our country's GDP. It is the gateway to global trade. The region's livelihoods are distinctly visible through its specialized provincial hubs. Like in Laguna and Cavite, andyan ang industrial belt known as the Detroit City of the Philippines. Laguna is the center of automotive assembly. Andyan ang Ford, Honda, Toyota, and the other electronics. Next is in Batangas, which is the energy and maritime hub. Batangas is critical for national energy, security, hosting major power plants, and Batangas Port, one of the busiest in the country for international shipping and passenger travel. Next is Rizal, which is in mga garments and their tourism. Rizal is recognized as the garments capital of the Philippines, especially in Taytay, and is a major hub for nature-based tourism. Last is on Quezon. In Quezon, agricultural heart. While the other provinces focus on industry, Quezon remains the region's top producer of agricultural goods, particularly coconut, rice, and corn, utilizing its vast land area and coastal resources.
So, I hope you learned something new about Calabarzon, its rich history, vibrant culture, resilient people, and its vital role in shaping the Philippines. May this discussion inspire us to honor and preserve the heritage, embrace the progress, and celebrate the achievements of Calabarzon. Let us remember that regions like these are not just places on map, but they are living stories of courage, creativity, and patriotism that continue to shape the future of our nation. Thank you very much for listening.